Hi everyone, how was your day? So welcome to the weekly Sunday update. All right, so here's a friendly disclaimer is that whatever we say is more for educational purposes. At the end of the day, whether you make a decision to trade or otherwise, please use your common sense and possibly our analysis along with it. All right, we are not telling you directly to buy or sell anything at all. Now, with that, let me change to my trading view. Right, so first of all, this week you will start with me. Hi, I'm Lloyd. I'm doing technical analysis, and later Alexis will come in with her fundamental analysis. Let's see if any of the pair matches. That's always the fun part. Right, so as usual, I've always ranked my strongest at the top, the weakest at the bottom, and the three pairs in the middle. Usually, I have no idea what they are doing, and I tend not to trade them unless there's a really early setup. Oh. Now, the first of all is dollar. You can see that dollar I ranked right at the top. Now, I remember before going to Bali retreat, I was hoping that dollar will actually touch this level. It did not, but nevertheless, uh, whenever I say that, I also understand that, before it starts touching, it might already reverse up, which it did for the last week. Now, so officially, actually, dollar is already in a range, but it still have a bit more oomph to actually reach all the way to the $100 level. Now, at this stage, I'm actually sentimentally, I should not say fundamentally, sentimentally, I think I'm a bit afraid. Yeah, because if the economy is well, dollar should actually weakens. Usually when the dollar strengthens, that means the economy might not be that well. There's fair bit of fear in the markets. But might be too early to tell because for the past, I would say, many, many weeks, price is just ranging here. Yeah. So hopefully it doesn't break the $100 level. If it does, then officially I think we are in a fear environment. But for now, for the next 1 or 2 weeks, I would say dollar should strengthen a bit more. Now, next on my list is actually the Swiss. Now, Swiss on the very short term, mid-term, I would say, you can see that it is actually strengthening up. So it does have a lot more space, wider space, in fact, to go to 130 level. So with that, this is a pretty strong level. You can see in the past 2 years, price has only reached this level once, got whacked back down, so it's going to challenge it this second time. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Now, third on my list, Aussie, I would still say that it might strengthen. No, it should strengthen simply because it has the minerals in play, commodities in play. But for the next 1 week, I suspect that it might actually weaken a bit more, or it might not really. This is the part where I'm going to say I don't know. But technically, it does looks like it is already on a trend. I'm just hoping that it might retrace a bit more, a deeper retracement. But if it does not, and this is why I'm going to say that there might be an early play next week for it to strengthen even further all the way to $75 level. So keep a lookout for any pair that is against the Aussie currency. If it prints a double bottom or even a first higher low kind of trade, that's the part whereby I'll be interested to get in. Yeah. So again, I have to be very clear that I don't know because I'm not trading from a level. Yeah. Kiwi, this is the part where I will say I really don't know. It is just really messy. I don't even know where it wants to go. It's not near a level, neither is it in a very, very clear cut trending phase. So I'll give this a miss. Now I think the Brits got to really make up their mind whether they want to rejoin by the EU or otherwise. But for the time being, it's not joining the war, it's not joining EU, it's not even joining anything. It seems like it's just successfully isolated itself. Oh, that's a big say. Now, the pound has been actually really just ranging. Again, this is a really big, I don't know where it wants to go. So I don't think I'll be trading Kiwi and pound for a next 2, 3 months or so until it actually successfully breaks a level. Then I would say it's out of the range. Now, unless you're a range trader, then Kiwi and pound will be interesting to you. But otherwise, I'll just, as a trend trader, I'll keep it out. And the same story will be euro. Is in a even wider range than euro than pound compared. Yeah. So with that, I'll just leave it out. But that actually makes an interesting play if you go euro pound for range trader. Can consider. Now Japanese yen, I think if I'm not wrong, I think I read it. They actually tried to intervene once or twice already, but looks like the result wasn't very successful. It's still raised to the bottom. You can see that last week bar is still one mini bearish bar, but prior to it is really bearish bar. Yep, so I'm still saying that it has plenty of strength to actually continue weakens more, unless the government steps in again, which I doubt they will. This is just my sixth sense as a trader. So with that being said, I would still say yeah, plenty of weakness going on in Kiwi. And the last on my list is actually the Canadian index. You can see the price just really refused to break $74, tested multiple times, and I think it's just gonna whack back down at least to 71.50. So I would still say plenty of weakness to go about. So with that, we're going to pair the strongest against the weakest. And first on my list is the dollar cat. I'm a, I'm a swing trader, so I look at H4. You can see that price previously is really consolidate, breakout. So there might be some sort of consolidation going on, and then it breaks out again. So with that being said, I don't think we should rely on price action too much on this. More go with your trader sense, and then but what you should rely on more is actually have a proper stop loss placement. Be wider away because price might just range a bit before it breaks off. This is gonna be a tiny bit of consolidations. Yeah, so it's not those kind of big wide movements. Yeah, but still being you need to be a bit responsible. Let's put our stop loss slightly further a bit away, maybe 1.5 ATR for price to fluctuate before it actually takes off again. Next on my list is actually dollar yen. Let's have a look at it. So dollar yen, not any better in terms of the consolidation. You can see that it consolidates small bars in the past, breaks off, small consolidation, it might breaks off again, but every time before it breaks off, it seems to have a very wide bar that seems to takes out a lot of stop losses before it goes off. White bar takes out a lot of stop losses before it goes off. So if you're going to trade any of these two, be responsible to yourself, give a wider stop loss to accommodate for such weeks. Otherwise, you can always go for the easier pair. So cat Swiss. So you can see that Swiss is my second strongest and cat is my actually weakest. So I will happily play this pair. And this pair actually has a cleaner move compared to that. So for a time being, you can see that price give a higher, 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 low, higher, 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 low. Finally, it breaks. Now, what I'm waiting for is price to actually might bounce off this level, giving a lower high. I'll still be happy to trade from here. If it does give a lower high, let me point out the level. Ta -ta -ta -ta. Yep. So if price comes back to this level, giving a higher low, I'm happy to trade. Or if it continues breaking, and this is even a significant level to me, and a high low over here, sorry, lower high, not high low, lower high. Yep. So if price give me a lower high, either at these two areas, I'm happy to go for a short. And then, of course, you have Swiss yen. Also a slightly cleaner move, I would say, compared to dollar CAD and dollar yen. So, again, Swiss is my second strongest. Yen is all the way at the bottom. I'm just waiting for price to back up, which it already has. Now, it is in fact actually retesting this level. So I'm just waiting for it to give me a nice looking one more rejection bar, maybe a tail bar. If it gives me that, I'll be happy to actually get in. So with that, that will be the end for me, and I'll pass it over to Alexis. Hey, I might have a question. Let me see. Oh, there it is. All right, so with that, I'll pass it over to Alexis and see if any of our pairs actually match. Seems like a matchmaking contest.
All right, hello everybody, and let's just take a look at some